Hello, everyone. Happy Friday and first day of National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am wearing purple, as you can see, in celebration of this really important month. I wanted to jump on, and my plan is actually to come on every single day for this month to share some statistics and information about domestic violence, because the whole idea of why this was created was in order to shed some light on domestic violence. So in 1981, the National Association of Domestic Violence had 1 day of unity. So 1981 was the first day that this actually started, and it was for 1 day. After a while, and they realized they did that 1 day, but they're trying to get all of these experts together to really get all the knowledge that they possibly could about domestic violence. So that was what that day was. But they realized after that 1 day of unity that they needed more time. So then National Domestic Violence Awareness Day became National Domestic Violence Week. And then as time went on, they started to realize, as all these experts started getting together, they were like, okay, we need to make this even longer. So in 1987 was the first National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That was the first time that it actually happened. So 1987. And then in 1989, Congress passed a law making it so that October was officially National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we have been celebrating this month for education purposes since 1989. And of course, for those of you who follow the different months and what's going on, this is actually also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So interesting how those two go together, because they are affecting women more, both of them. Breast cancer can happen to males and females, but it does happen much more often to females. And of course, domestic violence can happen to both as well. The U.S. Department of Justice estimates that 1.3 million women and 835,000 men are victims of physical violence. Now, of course, most of us could probably think about how inaccurate those statistics are. There are way more people that are suffering from physical violence that are not coming forward, because a lot of times we don't think about what that physical violence actually looks like. Now, physical violence might come in the form of, like what happened to me would be like being woken up in the middle of the night and be like pushed out of bed, or have the sheets pulled off, having the lights turned on and off so that I can't sleep at night, especially when there's a big event or something major going on the next day. Physical abuse might be standing in the doorway so that you can't get through when you try to leave. Physical violence, obviously, when we think about it, most of the time we're thinking about broken bones and bruises and things like that. But it's also spitting, hitting, punching, even strangling, and even like punching the wall around the person, because it's meant to put fear into the person that they are causing this abuse towards. 2001 to 2012, more than 11,766 women were murdered by current partners or past partners. And again, I would bet that if we really got full numbers, that would actually be more than that. Now, for anyone who thinks like maybe that number isn't that high, keep in mind that in Afghanistan, the war with Afghanistan, during that same amount of time, there was 6,488 people that were lost in the war in Afghanistan. So twice the amount of women were murdered, than in that same time period than all the soldiers were in the war with Afghanistan. People of color, if you are a person of color or know someone of color, there is a greater chance of them being affected by domestic violence, especially physical abuse. And people of color get less attention when it comes to them going to police. They get less support. And there's a whole variety of reasons why that happens. And of course, we can go more into this as we go, because this is a really important topic, is the fact that people of color are not getting the support that they need. And the numbers are high because of that. 85% of victims of domestic violence are women. Only 15% are men. So 15% is still a pretty high number. So when we speak to people about domestic violence, it's not just women that are being abused, it is men as well. And of course, we know that a lot of men that are in these physically abusive relationships are embarrassed or uncomfortable to share that they have been in this toxic relationship. So they don't get help. They're embarrassed. You know, there's this thing about guys saying like, oh, I'm getting hurt by my significant other. Very many guys are not going to be quick to share that with other people. So they will suffer in silence. 38 million, 28,000 have experienced physical violence in their lifetime. So this is self-reported. Over 38 million people have reported to had to deal with some form of physical violence at some point in their lives. So for most of us who have thought that we were the only ones suffering through this, obviously 38 million would say otherwise. And this last statistic that I want to share for today, because I will be coming on live every single day, is women with disabilities have a 40% increased likelihood of being in a domestic violence situation, and that abuse tends to be even more dangerous. So it's even more physical than some of the other abuses that are going on. So I hope this helps. You know, I want to make sure that we are shedding light and sharing this information. And we're going to talk about different forms of abuse, because it's not just physical abuse. There are people that are in here that maybe it's not physical, maybe it's financial, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's verbal, maybe it's sexual. So we're going to talk about the different forms of abuse. And I want you to, as you're watching these every single day this month, I want you to keep in mind that one person's abuse is not more or less important than somebody else's abuse. One is not more or less worse than the other person's abuse. So please keep that in mind as we go through this month, because a lot of people will not move forward in getting help. That was me, because I did not feel like I was as abused as other people were. I was not as physically abused. I didn't feel like I was as emotionally abused. And that kept me stuck, not actually getting the help that I so needed. So again, this month is about awareness. This month is about sharing information so that you get the right tools that you need. And of course, for those of you who are ready to get the right support, get the right tools, get the right mentorship to stop the cycle of toxic relationships, whatever that toxicity has been for your experience, you can comment the word help in the comments. And what I would also suggest for you to look at is, and I will leave it in the comments as well, is that we actually are, just as today's the first day that it's officially out, we have t-shirts and water bottles and things available that represent what it looks like after we heal from the cycle of toxic relationships. And if you look at our logo, which is in the top corner of this video, you will see the logo that's on our shirts that are available for purchase. So if you're looking for inspiration and reminder that things can get better for yourself, that you are the creator of your new life, with the right information and the right mentorship, then feel free to check out some of our services and some of our clothing and books and all that kind of stuff in our store. And we would love to be a part of your healing. Also, if you have not done so already, the website I'm going to give you also has the link to purchase my book and workbook. So it's a great opportunity for you to get the workbook and actually start taking action on creating the life that you desire. And of course, mentorship is always our number one recommendation when looking to heal. So thank you, everybody. It was great hanging out with you. Please leave your comments. And if you have any personal stories that you would like to share, comment that right in the comments so that we can hear and support you and what you're going through. But we look forward to working with all of you and helping you to build your best life yet. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.